Hi there, hello, my name's Zoe Bonser and thank you for joining us today. I'm the Portfolio Director at Clarion Retail and I'm delighted to be joined today by Nick Garrett, who's the Managing Director for the British Furniture Manufacturers. I'm really looking forward to having a chat today, Nick, about what's been happening at BFM, but I suppose before we jump into that, it'd be great to know a bit more about your role at the BFM.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting me to take part today, Zoe. It's a pleasure to be involved with Clarion in this interview. So just a bit about BFM really for people who don't know. So British Furniture Manufacturers are the trade association for the industry. We've represented the interests of the furniture industry for more than 70 years. And the membership of BFM includes a wide range of businesses from rural craftspeople up to the biggest household names. It's important for us, we highlight the importance of the sector to our national economy and the quality and assurance that comes from buying British-made products. So what we're looking to do is to tap into the consumer's current natural desire to buy local and support jobs nationwide, and do our very best to support members in communicating that and making that sort of widely known to people. And I think in the challenging times that we've been through, and I'm sure we have more ahead,
Yeah, exactly.
It's important really that the industry comes together and just displays the arrays of talents that we have in British furniture manufacturing in this country.
Great.
My role as MD of BFM is really to lead the BFM team and support our members in all of those things.
Perfect, brilliant. 70 years, that's incredible, isn't it?
It is. I haven't been here that long, it's fair to say.
I was going to say, you don't look it, Nick, you don't look it. Could you tell us a little bit more about the work that the BFM is currently involved with?
Well, we sort of have a lot of ongoing work, if you like, which is the bread and butter stuff for us as an organisation. And a lot of that really is around providing regular information to our members, whether that be trade surveys, wages surveys. Very relevant at the moment, we do regular material pricing reports. And those ongoing activities just help our members to navigate the challenges ahead, really.
Yeah.
We've just last week actually we've launched a new service for members, which is the BFM Legal Hub, and that will give members the opportunity of tapping into legal advice on a whole range of things, from employment law, contract commercial law, tax, any kind of advice, and that's going to be a 24/7 online hub. We've partnered with a company called Mark L to do that, and we think that will be a very useful additional membership benefit for our members. And then I think in terms of the world of sort of selling furniture, if you like, it's important really for us to help sort of champion the message of Buy British, and we did quite a big event last year actually, which was the Buy British Furniture event, where we put together a campaign out to consumers about really illustrating the importance and the value of buying British. So our intention is to we haven't actually set the dates on this at the moment, but our intention is to relaunch that campaign. We'll do that through the British Furniture Confederation, which we're members of. So that's quite an important event, and we'll get that going again. And then also quite interestingly, we've just done a couple of round table events, which was launching a new sustainability report, and that's really looking at the sector's route to net zero. And obviously net zero is very relevant at the moment to all business, and I think it's something that we're keen to play an important part in pulling the industry together, really in helping that process.
Great, look, some really great initiatives there, from the Legal Hub to the Sustainability Report. And I love the Buy British event, that's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that we can work together more closely in that as well. Before we go into more detail around that, I mean, what would you say kind of overall the current state of the market is in terms of what's been the feedback from your members?
I think if we go back, I mean, we're a long way through 2021 now, but we have to think about 2020 really, because the pandemic has been obviously the thing that shaped the industry for the last 18 months. Yeah. And I think from the beginning of the pandemic, we were seriously worried about the impact it would have on our industry. But I don't think we'd really understood at the beginning that the the impact it's had from the public point of view, the lockdowns meant that people were confined to their homes. By and large, I think consumer spending has held up very strongly, but what's happened has turned out to be hugely advantageous for our industry, because with people focused on their homes, they've been much more willing to spend money on furniture, and that means that the overall business has been quite strong through the pandemic. It's been incredibly topsy-turvy, you know. I mean, the roller coaster has been, shops are open, shops are closed, shops are open. And what we have seen very much is that as you would expect, when retail is open, you get a huge bounce back in demand, and then when retail is closed, it falls off. And I think we'll perhaps see more of this in other areas, but the move to online has been quite significant. So a lot of the retailers have been pretty agile in getting their online shopping experiences sorted out. And certainly we've seen on the second lockdown, the demand has been fluctuated less because online has been stronger. But we've recently done a survey of our members, actually, which was our April trade survey. And, you know, in the middle of a pandemic, we found that 40% reported a rise in orders compared to a year ago, and 84% responded that they were more confident about general business than they were in October last year. So that's a terrific sort of level of confidence, really, from our members. And I think, you know, the ongoing limitations placed on travel, foreign as well as domestic, really, with lockdowns, and obviously just this week we've got the green to amber, or the amber to green to amber at Portugal, and the disruption that's caused. Well, I think these things, you know, all help people to think more about continuing to spend money on their home, really. So it's kind of an ill wind that blows no one any good, and I think our industry has seen the benefit, really, of the pandemic.
Exactly. I mean, look, yeah, it's been such a challenging but interesting time, and lots of opportunities, right? And I think a couple of things that you mentioned is really interesting, and I suppose as we go through 2021 to 2022, we'll see those trends, what will stick, what will change, what will kind of evolve. But as you mentioned, that piece around, you know, the move to online and the agility of the industry to do that has been hugely beneficial, right? And it'll be very interesting to see how that continues going forwards. I mean, off the back of that, you know, we've launched a new platform, Reveal. Well, it will be launching very shortly to support the industry around that in terms of online proposition. So yeah, it's a really exciting time, and capitalizing on those opportunities. And I think I'd love your feedback around whether you think, kind of moving forward, how is the industry preparing to sort of maintain orders online through sort of bricks and mortar? Do you get a sense of kind of how that's going to, how they're planning for that?
I think if you go back to our survey, we've got huge optimism there. So 63% of our members reported that output over the last 6 months beat expectations.
Wow.
Talking to our members, I think they're expecting, continued optimism. But I think what they've been doing is, again, I think our industry is remarkably flexible. And most of certainly the bigger manufacturers have moved to finding ways of keeping business going even during social restrictions, whether it be complete lockdown or just restrictions. So online has become a much more important part of their business, and I think that will continue to grow, really. For me, and I think your comment about the Reveal platform is absolutely right, that it's going to become sort of a blended option, really, between the live and the online, whether it be consumer shopping in stores or trade events as you run yourselves.
Yeah, and on that point, obviously, as you mentioned, it has been an incredibly tumultuous year, flip-flopping backwards and forwards, and having to be kind of so, as you say, agile and flexible has been essential. I mean, I think we all feel this sort of sense of light at the end of the tunnel now, which is really exciting. We're very busily planning for our live events in July for the Manchester Furniture Show. I'd love your thoughts on as we're moving back into the return of live, how important that is for your members and the kind of the role that plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. And to some extent, there's no question that I think there are two things that the industry has suffered very, very badly from in the last 18 months. And the first one is the importance of new designs. Our industry thrives on new design. And I've been involved in the industry for well over 15 years now. And from when I first joined it, really, it was interesting just the speed of new product development and new product launch. And I think that continues to increase. It's almost become like a fashion industry, really. So manufacturers are constantly looking to bring new products to market. And of course, that's difficult to do without shows. You know, live shows are the best way of getting a new product on the floor, in front of lots of different customers. And you know, as previously as an MD of one of the companies or members of ours, you know, and I know the importance to your business of getting good new products out there and the value that brings. But the other thing I think is key, and in my experience, you know, involved in lots of other industries before furniture, but it's always struck me how important relationships are in this industry. You know, the old adage, people buy from people, I don't think it's more important anywhere other than our industry, really. So those two things are so important. You know, I think it's for good reason BFM have partnered with January Furniture Show and Manchester Furniture Show for many, many years. You know, it's a bit of the lifeblood of our industry, really, live events. So we're thrilled that the Manchester Furniture Show is now back up and running. You know, it's great that you've got a live format in July, so I think we're all looking forward to that. I think it'll be interesting. It's at Harrogate alongside the Home and Gift, so that brings a new dimension, and hopefully that's going to bring great opportunities, really, for brands and buyers. And we are an industry that's stronger together, and actually, you know, we think it's important we support one another, and the ability to reconnect with retailers and manufacturers through the Manchester Furniture Show has got to be great for business, really. And I think it's a good occasion. You know, there's the social side of it, and I know the Manchester Furniture Show has always had a big reputation, really, for the social side of it. So hopefully that, you know, that will come together in July with the next edition.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think that we can't wait for Harrogate. I think, you know, it's the perfect time of year, and hopefully with this weather, I think everyone's going to be in celebratory mode for sure. And so I think there'll be plenty of time to sort of network and catch up and to really kind of, you know, reignite those relationships again face to face. You can't beat that, right? The face to face element. And we're really looking forward to seeing how bringing those two shows together will work. I think that will be really interesting to see, and obviously just increase the audience as well for everybody. So yeah, we're working really hard. The team are behind the scenes on pulling everything together for July, and we're really looking forward to seeing everybody there. So yeah, so it's great to have the BFM support as well on that. So a couple of things that you mentioned earlier on, and it's you know, we've been doing a lot of research over the past year as well, really getting out there, speaking to buyers and kind of retailers, and understanding kind of where we see the kind of the focus of the industry moving forward. You mentioned a bit about the sustainability report earlier. I'd love to know a bit more about this, what it entails, what you've been working on.
Yeah, well, it's something we've just sort of started doing more of, actually. I think it's our response to the lack of live events. We're now doing a regular stream of webinars and events with our members, and it's something we've only really been doing this year. But we did this event with well, there were two roundtable events actually, which we did with one of our associate members. The associate is Business Wise Solutions, and their business is very much driven around energy management consultancy, with sustainability sort of core to what they do. So we worked with them. We did two roundtable events. We got pretty good response from a number of sort of senior people from members within our business. And it was just the opportunity really to sort of have the debate and discussion about where are we at as an industry. And interestingly, from that event, 75% of the participants saw the management of environmental challenges as a key priority for their businesses. So I think that was, you know, encouraging to see that, you know, our big businesses have got that high on their agenda. And half of them believed they knew what was required to achieve net zero as a sector. So again, that was quite encouraging. I think the thing, probably the worrying thing that came out of it is that 100% of the respondents said the industry lacked a strategy to achieve the target. And I think that's something we now need to focus on, is how do we get an industry strategy. I think individual companies are probably all working really hard on doing the right things themselves, but we need to do more in terms of industry strategy. And the report that came out of that, which has very recently been issued, just sets out the current and future state of British furniture manufacturing, where we're at and what's going on. And it's a fascinating overview really of the driving issues for the sector. And as a trade body, it gives us the insight into the areas we want and will continue to support in the industry in times ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, really interesting. And I'm really looking forward to spend a bit more time looking at that as well. And I think definitely at the shows moving forward, it's an area that we want to kind of create a new feature and focus around, because we know exactly as you said, it's such a fundamental part of the industry moving forward as well. And it's really interesting about that strategy piece as well. So yeah, I mean, lots to do, but great that 75% said it was so high on their agenda. I mean, that's quite a big stat. I'm not surprised, but I'm really excited to hear that, because I would have thought, especially in light of everything that's been happening around COVID and the challenges, and that's great to hear, right?
Yeah.
And on that, the challenges and opportunities, I suppose, of the industry. I mean, look, we could talk all day about the prices and concerns around the supply chain, etc. But I suppose, this is a moment in time, right? And obviously the circumstances are quite unique. But in your mind, where do you see what are the key challenges, and where do you see the key opportunities as we move forward, really?
Yeah, I think Brexit has been an issue, but to be fair, I think we've seen the worst of that from an industry point of view. And, companies again have had to be pretty flexible in working out how they deal with some of these things, but they've done that. Now, although it's not over, I don't think it's a major issue going forwards. I think if you talk to members at the moment, the pricing issue I think is really fascinating, because it will be at the top of everyone's list of problems, really, pricing and supply. And I think that's the big unknown for us at the moment. But interestingly, I was reading an article just the other day that when it comes down to it, everyone talks about pricing, but the thing that's sort of really driving this is demand. And I think the reason our industry is suffering these huge pricing and supply issues, we're overlooking the fact that demand has been so high and suppliers just can't keep up. Yeah. So we've also got an issue now that our factories are pretty much flat out in terms of production. And labour, I think, will become a bigger issue in the coming 6 to 12 months, because as supply comes on stream and people can start getting the raw materials that they need, and we're already seeing this now, we've got a couple of members who are really actively opening and driving apprenticeship schools. And I think getting new people into the industry has always been a challenge. Yeah. I think it's one that I think we'll move up the agenda over the next 12 months, really, because people will just need more people to make the furniture. And you know that it's hard and it's challenging, but isn't that a great news story for our country and our industry? That our industry can support even more jobs, and we want to get more people. And we've all been through the tough times of round after round of redundancies and closures. And I've been in manufacturing all my life, and that seems to have been the story of most of my life, really, is manufacturing surviving. We're in a position now where there is a resurgence in manufacturing, and I think that's good for the British furniture industry. Our challenge is, how do we get young people into our industry and get them trained and get them operational in our businesses? So I think that's going to be key going forwards.
But look, exactly as you said, Nick, what an exciting time, a hugely exciting time. And we'll talk about the opportunities, right? And, we've spoken to lots of businesses as well who've cited, the kind of, recruitment and specialist, people as a key area that they need to focus on in terms of how do they get the right staff with the right skills. They're setting up their own apprenticeship schemes. They're really investing in that, and it comes back to the point you made before around British manufacturing. Just what an exciting time to see that resurgence and to be investing in that, and to be investing in people and young people. And again, it's a key topic that we really want to focus more on at the live shows as well. So I'd love to talk to you more about that as kind of we move forward. But look, it's been great to speak to you. Loads of exciting things happening, lots of amazing opportunities, even more for kind of this year, 2022. Lots to be talking about. An exciting return to live events, and obviously amazing opportunities online as well. But before we finish up, do you have a final message for our viewers?
Well, I think, I mean, to some extent, it follows with what we've said before. Is I think the change in the industry, we've seen, you know, retailers really have had to adopt their online sales platforms, and they've been very successful in keeping that going. We're delighted to see that Clarion have done the same really with your Reveal platform. I think that very much mirrors what retailers have successfully done with consumers, and you know, we're looking forward to seeing that being a key change really, and a new facility for our members. So I think that it will fill the gap between live show days and the online only. So I think that's good. And I suppose for us really, the key message would be that our industry is stronger if we're together. I think the opportunity of getting together physically at a live event is very much overdue and long awaited. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, as many people as possible at Harrogate for the Manchester Furniture Show. So, and also on Reveal really. So that would be my key message, is let's all get together and hopefully meet up at Harrogate in July. Fantastic. Well, look, Nick, it's been lovely chatting to you. I can't wait to see you soon. Can't wait to see you in Harrogate. And I'll buy you that overdue glass of wine, I'm sure. Well, we get to meet in person, and that's we do. I mean, it's been what a strange time, but amazing time, and and that's why we're so looking forward to seeing everybody face to face and finally meeting each other, albeit not virtually. To that, and you know, brilliant. Yeah, meetings and you know, face-to-face relationships with Clarion have been part and parcel of the BFM Clarion relationship for all these years. So I think it is well overdue. So I look forward to meeting you then. Brilliant. Thanks so much, Nick. Take care. Thanks, Zoe. Cheers. Bye. Bye.